This is the birthplace, the Big Bang 1520 right here.
On August 11, 1973, in a Bronx back-to-school party, DJ Kool Herc lit a spark that would ignite the hip-hop flame. It was here that Kool Herc created the first ever breakbeat, one of hip-hop's essential blocks that other artists would build on.
Placed my fingers on the vinyl. I let it go, stopped it. But the taboo thing was you're not supposed to touch the middle of the vinyl.
Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge.
These jam sessions were a lifeline in a city seeing massive economic decline, and the beats they created captured the black experience of the time.
I can't just live the game, I got to document the game.
You know what make me feel real good today? Putting you in jail.
Everybody was like, you ready to grapple with these sheriffs and LAPD around here? You ready to do that? And I'm like, man, we gotta do something.
It wasn't long before hip-hop exploded, becoming the soundtrack of a generation. Jumping from the streets to the mainstream, with Blondie's Rapture, the first song featuring rapped vocals to top the US charts. Hip-hop was here to stay.
This is crazy because this is hip-hop music.
Its essence remained rooted in the injustice and inequality lived by both its pioneers and superstars, from Biggie and Tupac.
I don't know how to change it, but I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody gonna clean it up.
To Jay-Z and Eminem. The 90s and noughties saw hip-hop dominate charts around the globe.
Is it worth it? Let me work it.
Drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot.
And the Aussie variety wasn't far behind.
I got hip-hop taste buds. I wanna hear that bass when I make love. Wanna hear some lyrics when I wake up. Write rhymes to get me through a breakup.
Today, the genre remains the heartbeat for change.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now.
And a way to push boundaries.
Now from the top, make it drop. That's some wet and cushy.
Call me when you want, call me when you need. Call me in the morning, I'll be on the way.
Happy birthday, hip-hop, delivering some of the most classic beats and iconic songs for 50 years.
Go shorty, it's your birthday. We gon' party.
And we're pleased to welcome one of Australian hip-hop's biggest stars. Please give it up for Illy! How are you? Obviously, we heard some incredible classic hip-hop songs in that little package there.
Package, yeah.
But for you, you've been doing this for a while. What was the song that made you fall in love with hip-hop?
I remember being like 11 or 12 in the backseat of my parents' car. They're driving, the radio's on, and Tupac Changes came on, which is like a pretty iconic song for people of my generation. And I was young, so I had no idea about the content of what he was talking about. And it's quite politically charged, and I'm like, we're both black and white are smoking crack tonight. And I'm like, I don't know what crack is, but it sounds like it's bringing people together. And I never looked back after that.
Don't do that, kids.
Sorry. Yeah. It turns out it's really bad. So, yeah.
Obviously, music can kind of create change within culture, but it can create change more generally in the world. Do you think hip-hop has actually done that?
Yeah, man. I mean, you look around at other genres, I can't think of another genre that's even come close to the impact it's had socially. Yeah. I mean, dance music is... I love dance music, but it's not saying a whole bunch. Hip-hop, the whole thing was built on a message, and that's socially, but culturally, it's affected everything. It's been a nuclear bomb on culture for the last 30 years. Everything's language, fashion, sport, every aspect of our lives has been affected by it.
I feel like that was a stupid question.
No, well, I have to I've got to defend dance music because dance music does tell you to dance, and I feel like that's a strong message.
I stand corrected.
Okay, or blow your whistle. A whole other story. How much then has hip-hop changed from today to back then? You were talking about, the storylines, the messaging in it. Is it still pretty much the same?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously each generation has its own messages to say and its own sort of principles to espouse. But for the 30 years, like, I'm at the age where I was listening to sort of mid to late 90s hip-hop was my entry point from older brothers and mates' older brothers. And from there onwards, it's always been rebellious, it's always been fun, it's always had an element of danger. But it's the 20 years before that, which I'm not really a student of, that were like, trying to get banned, censored. They were trying to erase it from culture entirely. And the fact that it went from that to being, in my opinion, the predominant genre in the whole world. It's kind of a crazy story, you know?
Tyra and I have some big questions to ask you. I want to start by asking, who would be the ultimate collab for you?
I don't know how the song will go, but I would fangirl like my sister would with Taylor Swift if I had a chance to do a track with Jay-Z.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, he made the Yankee hat more fitted than the Yankee can.
Yeah.
And I would lose my mind. Yeah.
Who is the best rapper?
Jay-Z, hands down.
Jay-Z, hands down. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. There's a few others out there, Eminem, Tupac, Nas, Kendrick. But for me, it's Jay-Z all day.
So when you're 12, at what point do you think I can actually do this?
I rapped with an American accent until I was first introduced to the Hilltop Hoods much later on. And thankfully, it was before social media. Or I'd been cancelled long ago.
Try and track those tapes down. Please thank Illy, everyone.